Hi guys, welcome back to another video about English culture. This time I will talk about another sonnet, Sonnet 116, by Shakespeare, of course. So this sonnet is written in iambic pentameter, and this means that each line consists of 10 syllables divided in 5 pairs called ions. And the sonnet consists of 3 quatrains, 4 lines per quatrain, and ends with a rhyming couplet that consists of 2 lines. And the rhyme scheme, as for sonnet 18, is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Along with sonnet 18, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, and sonnet 130, my mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Sonnet 116 is one of the most famous poems in the entire sequence. This sonnet attempts to define love by telling both what it is and what it is not. So, in the first 2 lines, Shakespeare writes, "Let me not, to the marriage of true minds, admit impediments." Here, he uses the metaphor of marriage to compare it to true love. And here is saying that there is no reason why two people who truly love shouldn't be together. And the second half of the second line begins a new thought that is carried on into the third and fourth lines, where he writes, "Love is not love, which alters when its alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove." And here in these lines, the speaker is telling his reader, the reader, that if love changes, it is not true love. Then the second quatrain of Sonnet 116 begins with a beautiful imagery, and it continues with the final thought pondered in the first quatrain. In fact, now that Shakespeare has established what love is not in the first quatrain, he can now tell us what love is. He writes, "Oh no, it is a never fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken." So here, Shakespeare, he wants to tell us that love is something that doesn't shift, doesn't change, and doesn't move. It is constant and in the same place, a never fixed mark, and it can weather the most harrowing storms, tempests, and is never shaken. So here we notice that Shakespeare decides to personify love, since it is normally it is something that it is intangible and not something that can be defeated by something tangible as a storm, such as a storm. In the next line, Shakespeare uses the metaphor of the North Star to discuss love. He writes, "It is the star to every wandering bark, whose words unknown, although his eyes be taken." To Shakespeare, love is the star that guides every ship, and while it is priceless to him, it can be measured. So he's saying that love's worth is unknown, but he's also saying that he can measure, but he neglects to tell his reader the different ways in which one can measure love. That is time and actions. Then the third quatrain parallels the first, and Shakespeare returns to tell his readers what love is not. And in fact, he writes, Love's not time's full, the rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Time here is capitalized, and Shakespeare personifies time as a person, and specifically death. In fact, he says that love is not the full of time. We are assured here that death will certainly come, but that will not stop love. So it may kill the lover, but the love itself is eternal. And this thought is continued in the lines 11 and 12, the final two lines of the third quatrain, where Shakespeare writes, "Love alters not with its brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom." And here is simply stating that love doesn't change over the course of time. Instead, it continues even after the world has ended. And then Shakespeare uses the couplet, the final couplet of Sonnet 116, to assert just how truly he believes that love is everlasting and conquers all. And he writes, "If this be error and upon me proved, I never read nor no man ever loved." And in this part of the sonnet, he is telling his reader that if someone proves he's wrong about love, he is wrong about love, then he never wrote the following words, "and no man ever loved." So he's conveying that if his words aren't true, nothing else will exist. And essentially, this sonnet presents the extreme ideal of romantic love. It never changes, it never fades, it outlasts death and admits no flaw. The speaker insists that this ideal is the only love that can be called true. If love is mortal, changing, or impermanent, the speaker writes that no man ever loved. That's all for today's video. I hope you find it interesting, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!